Hello world, it is Thursday, September 10th, and it's another overcast day, warm this morning. I attempted to go for a ride, but it was kind of foggy out and the pavement was a little damp, so I decided just to stay in and do a little bit of other type of exercise and get started on all my other work a little earlier than normal. Today's devotion is entitled The Long Road of Avoidance, and it's written by Kenneth Samuel. And Kenneth bases the devotion upon Exodus chapter 13, verse 17, New Living Translation. When Pharaoh finally let the people go, God did not lead them along the main road that runs through Philistine territory, even though that was the shortest route to the Promised Land. God said if the people are faced with a battle, they might change their minds and return to Egypt. Kenneth writes, freedom isn't an immediate given. Freedom is a consistent journey. Coretta Scott King admonished that the battle for freedom is never really won. We have to fight for it and win it in every generation. Freedom itself isn't really free. It requires constant vigilance and unyielding courage. Even after the fall of Goliath, we must remain prepared to fight because the giants of adversity keep coming. The children of Israel's wondrous exodus out of Egyptian bondage did not signal the completion of their freedom struggle, but the commencement of it. The battles of self-determination, self-critique, and self-resourcefulness that accompany every freedom endeavor remained on the horizon as the Israelites left Egypt in jubilation. Israel's freedom journey could have been expedited, but because God knew the tenuousness of people's will to fight, Israel traveled a long, indirect route to their promised land. To avoid confrontation with the Philistines, Israel followed a circuitous route that landed them in a fight at the Red Sea with their own doubts. The long roads of avoidance do more than delay us. They distract us from self-development, and they deny us the use of all the liberation equipment that God has given us. The avoidance of necessary confrontation with others puts us on a long path of self-conflictedness. The pharaohs of our own fears are the greatest impediments to our freedom. Kenneth's prayer. Lord, you have created us for freedom. Forgive us for impeding our own progress. Amen. Well, as I was reading this devotion, I was reminded of a quote. I had to look it up. I thought it was by Martin Luther King, and it was. There's several different versions of it by different people, but the one I was thinking of was Martin Luther King. And that quote is, true peace is not merely the absence of tension. It is the presence of justice. I think that's an important thing for us to remember. We can't always avoid conflict. We shouldn't go looking for conflict. We shouldn't try to create conflict. But where there is injustice, we do need to speak out and speak up and take action and, be God's living presence in the world. We really can't avoid it because, like King said, peace isn't the absence of tension, it's the presence of justice. And sometimes to get to justice, you have to follow a long and difficult road. And it can be very tension-filled and stressful. So I think that's an important thing for us to remember, especially in the church. Because sometimes we tend to be so conflict-averse that we never really face the issues and never really live into being the people that we were created to be, nor live into what the real purpose of the church is, which is to build community and to change lives and to create heaven on earth where everyone understands and knows and lives as if they are a beloved child of God. So avoiding conflict isn't necessarily the thing to do. Being constructive in it, that's a good thing. Working towards justice should be the goal, not for creating divisiveness or anything, but finding ways to bring people together and ensure that there is justice for all. That Micah 6:8. Remember what the Lord has said to you. Well, that's not quite right. Let me find that on it real quick. I should know that one by heart because I was just looking at that the other day. And I think it's an important one for us to remember. So I want to make sure I get it right. And I'm going to do it from the Common English Bible. He has told you, human one, what is good and what the Lord requires from you: to do justice, embrace faithful love, and walk humbly with your God. And that doing justice part is the key, because that's the difficult part. And that means it's not just about avoiding conflict, because for true peace to occur, there has to be justice. I will talk to you again tomorrow. Enjoy your day.